And we can go live now.
It is theoretically in the process of doing that. There we go.
We're now live. Good morning, everyone. For the record, this is Delegate Nick Charles, and we are now going to bring the meeting to a start for the Prince George's County House Delegation Friday morning meeting. The time is now 9:03. And, today we have to get through a few bills, so we don't have anyone that will be presenting before us today. Originally, we had the State's Attorney's Office set to provide some updates, but due to the fact that we have so many bills we have to get through, and we have a new member coming from District 22, Ashanti Martinez, who will be getting sworn in at 10:30 on the House floor. We want to give ourselves some time to get down to the floor to make sure we're there to welcome in one of the newest members to the Prince George's delegation. So we're going to make this, try to get through as many of these bills as we can before the 10:30 time. So for right now, we're going to start this off with a prayer. And I see Delegate Jamila Woods, one of our good pastors. I'm going to ask that she bring us into prayer, and then we'll go off to the Law Enforcement Committee to start working through the bills.
Can you all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
All right, let's pray. Lord, today we pray that the words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts will be acceptable in your sight. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so Chair for Law Enforcement, Delegate Mary Lehman. Was Delegate Lehman on?
Not yet.
Okay, Delegate Ivy, Mr. Vice Chair, you want to kick off for
Sure.
Law Enforcement?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Could council read the first bill number and give us a rundown on the bill itself?
Morning, everyone. The first bill on the agenda is 30223. This is Prince George's County Alcoholic Beverages Class B beer, wine, and liquor licenses, entertainment permits, inspections, and penalties. It's PG 30223 or House Bill 784. This bill is originally sponsored by the chair. There were no amendments in the committee, and the bill passed favorably 5-0. It authorizes the holder of a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license in the county to serve beer, wine, and liquor by the glass or by the bottle for on-premises consumption. It also authorizes a holder of an entertainment permit to contract with promoters for certain purposes. It also limits the inspections done by the liquor board to no more than 2 times in a calendar month, unless the holder has given prior consent or the inspection is being conducted in response to a plaint. It also, with certain exceptions, requires the board to provide a license holder with a report of the inspection within a certain amount of time. It also requires the board to publish a list containing the number of inspections conducted of each of the premises in the previous year. And finally, it requires the board to publish and maintain a list of penalties for violations.
Wonderful.
Favorable. Oh, I'm sorry.
Second. It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair, so this bill, we had some discussion. I know it came out favorably out of the committee yesterday, but there was some discussion with a few of the members of the committee with some unreadiness on the bill. So we moved, I worked with the county exec's office yesterday. I also worked with and they worked with the liquor board, and we brought the restaurants to the table as well. And so there are some amendments that I'd like to offer up for the bill before we move to vote on the bill in full.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to rescind my my motion until discussion is over.
Thank you, Delegate Harrison. I see we have the chair of the Law Enforcement Committee on, Delegate Lehman.
Yes, sir, and I apologize for being late. I was in the Anne Arundel delegation meeting and didn't realize how soon you'd take up the law enforcement agenda. So here I am. I want to thank my members for joining me yesterday a little bit early to work our way through 4 alcohol bills. And we probably spent the most time on this one, but it was worth it. I want to thank the chairman for his efforts following the meeting and being responsive to the concerns about the bill, working through those concerns with the also Brooks administration, with the liquor board. And I think these amendments are good ones. They had certainly addressed the concerns I had raised. And with that, I was just opening my email to see the amendments in writing, because I got a basic description of them, but had not seen them in writing. So, Mr. Chair, if one of the attorneys could review those, or if you're going to review those, that would be helpful for the rest of the delegation. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to have counsel read through the amendments or
Thank
explain
you.
the amendments.
Yep. So I'll treat it just for purposes of the lack of notice as an oral amendment. So I'll just kind of go through these bit by bit. The amendments, essentially, they strike all of the provisions that would have authorized a contract promoter to take certain actions as part of like the entertainment permit. So all of those provisions are stricken, and then instead there's going to be a work group in the county with various county level entities to study the best practices for contract promoters in the county. That report would be due December 1st, 2024. It also strikes the provisions that limit the number of monthly board inspections that can occur without the license holder's consent. It also alters the number of business days. So under the existing bill, the inspector has to provide an inspection report to a license holder within 2 business days after the inspection. The amendment increases that to 5 business days. It also establishes a monthly publishing frequency for the list of penalties and violations. And further, it also requires that list of penalties be developed by the board such that there is a standard fine structure with flexibility for mitigating and aggravating factors. And that's it.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move the amendments.
Second.
Question from Ann Haley, from Delegate Haley.
Yeah, I have a procedural question. And I thought that we had a rule that that the amendments had to be presented in writing to the delegation so that we would have the ability to read them rather than having them presented just orally. And I was wondering if I could ask the council if about the delegation bylaws.
As far as I know, Delegate Haley, I can certainly double check if you give me a minute, but I believe the delegation has routinely in the past offered oral amendments, but I'll double check.
Well, but usually those are very simple and it's a 1 or 2 word and everybody can figure out what it says in the context of the bill.
Sure. Bear with me for just a
But Delegate Haley, we do have the amendments in writing.
Okay, I haven't seen them. Were they sent out by email?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Tasha, did you send it to the entire delegation?
Yes, I have it.
Okay,
yes.
I withdraw my question. That's fine. It was a purely procedural question. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Haley.
It's in a.
Thanks, Tasha. You can go on mute.
Apologies.
Okay, Delegate Lehman, it's back in your hands.
Mr. Chair, I just want to say I do appreciate Delegate Healy's concern. We do want to be transparent here, obviously. We want members to be informed. So I thank her for raising that question. This was happening late last night, actually, and early this morning, but people do need to see amendments in writing, especially because these are not simple. If that satisfies Delegate Healy and other members have a chance to at least, look at these amendments, I would like to make a motion favorable on the amendments. Can we do them as a package, Shane, or do we have to do them one at a time?
No, they can. So the document does include all of the amendments as one.
Second.
Okay.
Been seconded, Delegate Lehman. Moved and properly second. So accept the amendments.
If there's no discussion, I don't see any hands raised. Can we take a roll call vote, please, on the amendments?
You could just do a voice vote.
Voice vote, okay. All in favor of the amendments, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Okay, the ayes seem to have it. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion favorable on the bill as amended.
Second.
Okay, and now I believe we need a roll call vote.
Okay. Delegate Austin,
Aye.
Delegate Ben Barnes,
Yes.
Delegate Darrell Barnes, Delegate Bawafo, Delegate Fennell,
Yes.
Delegate Harris,
I wrote aye.
Delegate Harrison,
Aye.
Delegate Healy,
Aye.
Delegate Holmes,
Aye.
Delegate Ivy,
Aye.
Delegate Lehman,
Aye.
Delegate Lewis,
Aye.
Delegate Long,
Aye.
Delegate Pena Melnick,
Aye.
Delegate Taylor,
I vote aye.
Delegate Tavares, Delegate Tolles.
I'm sorry, I'm here.
Okay.
This is Tavares. I'm sorry, what are we voting on exactly?
This is
I just
Delegate
stepped
Toll.
in. I'm sorry. I'm in the Montgomery County delegation meeting. So what are we voting on?
You want me to, just real quick?
It's
I
House
vote
Bill
aye, and I just
784.
want to thank Mr. Chairman for his work on this, on the amendments.
Delegate Tavares, we are voting on PG 30223, House Bill 784, Class B beer, wine, and liquor licenses, entertainment permits, inspections, and publication of penalties. This is the chair's bill. It will become obviously a delegation bill.
Oh, the bottle bill?
I guess you could consider it a bottle bill.
Is this the bottle bill?
Mr. Chair, yes. I mean, it does allow for,
Aye.
yeah.
Thank you. Delegate Tolles.
I vote aye, and I was saying I want to thank Chairman Charles for his work on the amendments. I do appreciate you.
Delegate Turner.
Aye.
Delegate Valderrama.
Aye.
Delegate Williams.
Aye.
Delegate Woods.
Aye.
Delegate Darrell Barnes. Delegate Bawafo.
Aye.
Delegate Charles.
Aye.
Bill passes.
Ms. Coleman, can you tell us the vote?
20.
I saw 21.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chairman, because I jumped on a little late, I'm not sure if this was the first bill taken up on the law enforcement subcommittee list.
It was the very first bill. So the next bill is House Bill 436, PG 30523.
Can it, Mr. Chair, if we could jump to one of the other two bills first because they're simpler and there are no amendments. As I understand, I hope Delegate Lewis will be joining us. He has an amendment that the delegation will have to consider.
Yep, Delegate Lehman, it's up to you.
Okay.
You lead this section.
Okay, so I'm going to jump to PG 30923, House Bill 946. That's alcoholic beverages Main Street Laurel development. I don't know if Shane or Ryan is on here and wants to give a brief description of the bill or the amendment that we adopted and the vote on that bill. We had 4 members initially present, which is a quorum of that subcommittee, and then later we had 5. So I don't have the vote totals down.
Sure, I can do the summary. This is, as mentioned, it's House Bill 946 or PG 30923. This bill is sponsored by the chair. There were 2 amendments in the committee. It came out of the committee, according to the report, 5-0, favorable with amendments. The bill would authorize the Board of License Commissioners in the county to issue up to 5 Class B DD licenses to restaurants located within Main Street Laurel, Washington Boulevard to 9th Street between Patuxent River to the north, Montgomery Street to the south. The first amendment was just a technical amendment that changed the local PG bill number. The second amendment changes the location that the board is authorized to issue the Class B DD license within Main Street, Laurel to northbound Washington Boulevard to 7th Street between the Patuxent River to the north and Prince George Street to the south.
Thank you. And we did have input from the city of Laurel on those boundaries, and they are satisfied with the change to the boundaries as they were originally described in the bill. Thank you, Chair Charles, for starting us out with this and then sending it over my way to deal with it. And of course, it does become a delegation bill with our vote. So I'd like to move favorable on PG 309-23, House Bill 946.
Second.
Shane, do we need and Mr. Chairman, do we need a roll call vote or can we do a voice vote?
So we should do the amendments first with voice vote still.
Oh,
and roll call for the bill.
Okay, so do we have to vote on the amendment again separately, even though the subcommittee adopted it? Okay, so I move favorable on, can I move the 2 amendments at once, the technical amendment and the boundary amendment? Okay, second. So I move the amendments favorable.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of the amendment, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? No one seems to be opposed. The ayes have it. And now a motion on the bill as amended. I move the bill as amended.
Second.
So there's a motion and a second. And now Shane or Chair Charles, do we need a roll call on this? Yes.
Roll call.
Okay. Ms. Coleman, can you call the roll, please?
Yes. Delegate Austin.
Aye.
Delegate Ben Barnes.
Yes.
Delegate Darrell Barnes. Delegate Bawafo.
Aye.
Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Delegate Harris.
Yes.
Delegate Harrison.
Yes.
Delegate Healy.
Aye.
Delegate Holmes.
Aye.
Delegate Ivy.
Yes.
Delegate Lehman.
Yes.
Delegate Lewis.
Yes.
Delegate Long.
Aye.
Delegate Pena Melnick.
Yes, and I'd like to thank the chairman for getting us started.
Delegate Taylor.
Aye.
Delegate Tavares. Delegate Toles.
I vote aye.
Delegate Turner.
Yes.
Delegate Valderrama.
Aye.
Delegate Williams.
Aye.
Delegate Woods.
Aye.
Delegate Tavares. Delegate Ben Barnes. Delegate Charles.
I vote aye again.
Sorry, apologies. Darrell Barnes. Okay. Delegate Charles.
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Coleman, what is the total?
20.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
next we're going to go to PG 30623, House Bill 438. That is a Class B stadium, a beer, wine, and liquor license. Shane, can you give us a brief description of the bill? And we did pass that, I believe, with no amendments.
Yes, that's correct. The bill is sponsored by Senator Watson, no amendments, favorable 5-0 in committee. The bill authorizes the holder of a Class B stadium license. It would be for baseball stadiums. It authorizes them to sell beer, light wine, and now also liquor under the bill.
Thank you. I make a motion favorable on PG 30623, House Bill 438.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, Ms. Coleman?
Yes. Delegate Austin.
Aye.
Delegate Ben Barnes.
Yes.
Delegate Darrell Barnes.
No.
Delegate Boafo.
Aye.
Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Delegate Harris.
Yes.
Delegate Harrison.
Yes.
Delegate Healy.
Aye.
Delegate Holmes.
Aye.
Delegate Ivy.
Yes.
Delegate Lehman.
Yes.
Delegate Lewis.
Yes.
Delegate Long.
Aye.
Delegate Pena Melnick.
Yes.
Delegate Taylor.
Aye.
Delegate Taveras.
I vote aye.
Delegate Toles.
Aye.
Delegate Turner.
Aye.
Delegate Valderrama.
Aye.
Delegate Williams.
Aye.
Delegate Woods.
Aye.
Delegate Charles.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman, if you could tell us about total.
21.
Thank you. And finally, Mr. Chair, we are going to go to PG 30523, House Bill 436. This is Delegate Lewis's Development District License Bill. We did adopt one amendment in the subcommittee. If council could please read the summary of the bill and that amendment.
As mentioned, this came out of committee favorable with amendments 5-0. As amended, the bill clarifies the name of the South Lake Development District, previously called the Carrington Development District, and authorizes the Board of License Commissioners for Prince George's County to grant an off-sale privilege to one restaurant that has a Class B-double-D license in each development district that may be issued a Class B-double-D licenses that are not located in the Capital Beltway. The bill also sets several restrictions on the off-sale privilege, including setting the annual license fee at $5,000.
Thank you, Shane. Are there any questions about that amendment? Because Delegate Lewis is here to answer any questions about that. We did adopt the amendment unanimously. I cannot see the whole screen. I don't see questions.
I'd like to move favorable on the amendment.
Thank you. So there's a motion favorable on the amendment. Is there a
Second.
second? So there's a motion favorable and a second on this amendment. If we could do a voice vote, all in favor, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Now, Mr. Chairman, Delegate Charles has a second amendment, and Delegate Lewis, that's in writing, correct, from yesterday. We did not take that up because I thought it was a significant amendment. I was concerned about germaneness. We were assured by council it could be considered, but Delegate Lewis offered to wait and present it the full delegation, because it's fairly significant change to the bill.
If it's appropriate, Madam Chair, there's a friendly amendment that I think would be easier to take up first. So I've spoken with my district mate, Delegate Austin. Right now on the B-DD license, there isn't a strict cap. We've agreed to put a cap of 50 restaurant licenses in total along this corridor that she proposed to me. I don't know if she got that drafted. It could be oral, but I just wanted the state, before we move to more tougher part, that part is a friendly amendment, and I would happily accept that.
Okay, that is fine with me. Just to be clear, is that limit of 50, is that for just the 214 corridor, Delegate Lewis? Okay, that does not include the amended districts that you added on.
Correct. Is only for the original bill part of along Central Avenue. Right now it says any number. We're limited to 50 restaurant license. That is where we ended up.
Okay, and that is 214 from your district to the DC line. Is that correct?
Correct.
I'll move the amendment.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion, any questions? Delegate Alston, do you care to make a comment?
I'd just like to thank Delegate Lewis for accepting the friendly amendment and working with me to make the bill something that we both could be comfortable with.
Great, thank you so much for that. So on a voice vote, all in favor of this amendment, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, anyone opposed? No one seems to be opposed, so the ayes have it. Now, Delegate Lewis, would you like to describe that second more substantive amendment?
Sure. So the other amendment is for our new members. You may not remember. For the returning ones, this is House Bill 359 from last year. So this is the bill that essentially says we want to lessen liquor density without creating it in any other district. We passed it unanimous out of this body last year. The Senate passed it, but limited which district it should go to. And our position was that it should be a countywide strategy. So you can move your liquor district, your liquor store from one place in the county to another, but you can't be within a mile of any store in any direction. Okay. It failed in the Senate because it had a different chair of the committee of jurisdiction. That chair is no longer there, and the current chair is more amenable to this language. So I didn't propose that as a separate bill, but the exact language is exactly what's passed here 2 years in a row out of the House side, which would essentially allow that transfer from one place in the county to another, so long as it's not within a mile in any direction of any other liquor store.
Thank you. Thank you, Delegate Lewis. I see that Delegate Healy has a question. I'd just like to comment briefly. I think, you know, as I expressed yesterday, in an ideal world, this would have been put in as a standalone bill, but I understand that sort of the landscape has changed, and Delegate Lewis explained the reason for adding, you know, this previous bill onto his development district bill. So I do understand that. And with that, Delegate Healy, you have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Delegate Lewis, just to clarify. I know that the original proposal last year was somewhat controversial, but since it passed unanimously, I want to just verify my memory that the controversies were dealt with the community and with the business community, so that we came up with something that everybody could support. Is that correct?
That is correct. So the original controversy was back in the past, we were allowing, the original iteration years ago was allowing grocery stores that locate in food deserts to have beer and wine, along with allowing those stores in the overly saturated areas to move. We separated those. I gave up on the grocery store bit. I still have the opinion, but that's not this. So the bill that we've had since then has only been on the liquor transfer of the liquor stores themselves, so that over time, we allow that as new developments are coming up in Brandywine or Laurel or what have you, you can transfer some of these stores from maybe Bladensburg or Suitland to a place where they want it, so long as it's not oversaturating an area that already has them. And that was the idea.
Okay, thank you very much. I just wanted to make sure that none of the original controversy was involved, since we did not have a public hearing on it.
Thank you, Delegate Healy, for the clarification. Are there any other questions or concerns?
I'd like to move favorable on the amendment.
Okay, there's a motion favorable and a second. Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? No, the ayes seem to have it. So I'd like to ask for a motion on the bill as amended.
Move for favorable.
Second.
There's a motion favorable and a second. Ms. Coleman, could you please call the roll on PG 30523, House Bill 436?
Yes. Delegate Austin.
Aye.
Delegate Ben Barnes.
Yes.
Delegate Darrell Barnes. Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Delegate Harris.
Yes.
Delegate Harrison.
Yes.
Delegate Healy.
Yes.
Delegate Holmes. Delegate Ivy.
Yes.
Delegate Lehman.
Yes.
Delegate Lewis.
Yes.
Delegate Long.
Yes.
Delegate Pena Melnick.
Yes.
Delegate Taylor.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Delegate Taveras. Delegate Tolles.
Yes.
Delegate Turner.
Yes.
Delegate Valderrama.
Aye.
Delegate Williams.
Aye.
Delegate Woods.
Aye.
Delegate Taveras. Delegate Darrell Barnes. Delegate Charles.
Aye.
The bill passes. What is the vote total, Ms. Coleman?
18.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, that concludes the report of the Law Enforcement Subcommittee. We just have one bill left to take up, and that is a bill affecting the Sheriff's Department. We plan to do that this coming Thursday. I believe that's March 1st, and we will return to our regular meeting time of 9 a.m. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Delegate Lehman. All right, Delegate Fennell, County Affairs.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Delegation. We have one bill on the docket today, which is Prince George's 407-23, HB 1109, Prince George's County Economic Development Business Improvement District. Shane, can you read the summary and then also the amendments? But before you do that, I would like the delegation and chair and the public know that it was passed out of our committee 5-0 favorable with amendments. Shane?
I apologize, Madam Chair. I'm not aware of any amendments. I may have to defer to Lisa, co-counsel for the committee if there were. But as I understand, the bill authorizes Prince George's County or a municipal corporation in the county to adopt a local law to create a business improvement district and authorizing the governing body of the county or municipal corporation to impose a business improvement district tax.
Thank you. Thank you, Shane. Delegate Lewis, can you go ahead with your amendment? It was favorable. It's a friendly amendment. Is he on?
I am on. I do not recall what the amendment was.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you.
Tasha, can you read the amendments? I don't have the amendment in front of me at the moment.
I don't believe this was voted out with an amendment. I think it was just favorable.
Okay. Okay, well, 5-0 favorable. Thank you so much, Tasha. Do not have the paper in front of me. Okay, thank you. Mr. Chair, that is the vote of the committee, 5-0 in reference to a favorable. Can we get a motion?
I'd like to move favorable on the bill.
Second.
Okay, can we do a vote? Is there any discussion? Having no discussion, can we do a roll call, Tosh?
Yes.
Thank you.
Delegate Austin,
Aye.
Delegate Ben Barnes.
Yes.
Delegate Darrell Barnes, Delegate Fennell,
Yes.
Delegate Harris,
Yes.
Delegate Harrison,
Yes.
Delegate Healy,
Aye.
Delegate Holmes, Delegate Ivy,
Yes.
Delegate Lehman,
Yes.
Delegate Lewis,
Yes.
Delegate Long,
Yes.
Delegate Pena Melnick,
Yes.
Delegate Taylor,
Yes.
Delegate Taveras, Delegate Toles,
Yes.
Delegate Turner,
Yes.
Delegate Valderrama,
Aye.
Delegate Williams,
Aye.
Delegate Woods, Delegate Darrell Barnes, Delegate Holmes, Delegate Taveras, Delegate Woods, Delegate Charles,
Yes.
Steady it, Tasha. What is the vote?
17.
Okay,
I'm
what is
sorry,
it?
did you get Delegate Holmes?
I did.
Okay, sorry, thank you.
Okay, what is the vote count, Tosh?
17.
17. Mr. Chair, the bill has passed. The next thing that we're gonna have 4 bills on the docket for next Wednesday. We're gonna be meeting at 9 a.m. on March the 1st. Please ask the public to look on the website in reference to the bills that's gonna be on the docket. And that is my report for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Delegate Fennell. We're now going to move on to Bi-County Committee, Delegate Valderrama. You're muted, Delegate.
Sorry about that, Chairman Charles. Good morning, members, and good morning to the public who have joined us this morning. We have 2 items on the docket for Bi-County. The first is HB 783, which is MCPG 10123, WSSC, the Minority Business Enterprise Utilization Program, and there were revisions, and it was regarding an extension of the program. At this moment, Chairman Charles, I'd like to turn it over to my Vice Chair, Delegate Harrison. This bill was on our docket since the beginning of session, and there have been many conversations going on with WSSC and the members, and we've all come to an agreement. And so with that, Vice Chair Harrison.
Thank you. So the bill, as originally presented, had information about the disparity study that was conducted by WSSC, which basically said that they were not meeting their goals for MBE participation. It changed some language as far as the MBE program to make it race neutral. It included removing the target of MBE participation from Montgomery County and Prince George's County, which is in statute right now as 40% is as their target. It changed it codified in their procedure the language that MDOT uses as far as what an MBE is. And then it extended the sunset of the MBE program from 2023 to 2028. The concern in this bill was changing the language that related to the MBE program, basically making it race neutral. When they're already documented through their disparity study that they're not meeting their goals. And so it was the amendment struck that language as far as changing the MBE program and added back in the target for MBE participation at 40% each. And then kept everything else. So it kept the information about the disparity study. It kept the, it extended the sunset to 2028, and then codified the language. I think that at such time, I think the information about the MBE program and making any changes needs to be a separate piece of legislation. And so we made the amendments and passed it out unanimously yesterday. I'm not sure if there's anything else that you wanted me to add, Madam Chair.
So I would say if there is no discussion, we need to vote on the amendment as a delegation. I see a hand up. The
amendment.
I see a hand up, Delegate Pena-Melnick.
Yes, good morning. I want to thank the chairman and the vice chair for their work on this bill. I do have a question. What are they going to do differently to meet those goals? Was there any discussion as to what actions will they take, what steps to meet those goals?
No, there was no discussion about what they were going to do to meet those goals, but we found it important to leave that information, those goals in there, because they aren't meeting the goals now. Their discussion and concern, I guess, was about what the Supreme Court might do as it relates to affirmative action, and if the MBE program would then become invalid. And they were concerned that if that should occur when we're not in session, then they won't be able to do what they needed to do. They're already not making it, and they're not doing it now. So what was discussed yesterday, that if that should occur, then there's so many other MBE programs that are in the state that we deal with, that we would probably be called back into special session to deal with that, because the state has its own MBE goals and goals. And so there was not specific dialogue about what they were going to do, but they certainly need to continue to work on getting there. And removing targets, I don't think is the right way. Well, we didn't think was the right way to for them to help them meet their goals.
Yeah, I agree with you. However, you know, when people say, oh, we can meet the goals, or we can find Black or Latinos to hire, I just wonder, like, what steps are they taking, right? Like, what investments are they making to, you know, make sure that we do have the inclusion of our people of color, where we have so many disparities. But thank you so much for addressing it.
So are there any other questions?
Delegate Taylor has her hand up.
Okay.
Race neutral. What does that mean?
Good question.
Council, did we have that? We had that same question during, I thought we did anyway, during our subcommittee.
I don't recall that particular discussion. I will say that race neutral on its face, it is what it sounds like. There would not be any preference for race.
Any race? Are just racial minorities?
Delegate Neely?
Yeah. I might be able to clarify just based on what the discussions I've heard in the past. I think that there was a court case local in like the District 4, I believe, that said that before you could enact MBE type programs, affirmative action style programs, you had to try to find what they called race neutral language, so that if it was a small business or a local business or something that didn't say include race, that you were supposed to try that first to see if that worked, and you do a study to see if it worked, and then when it doesn't work, then you're allowed to use the race-based language. But all of that is before the Supreme Court right now. I'm not an attorney. I'm just talking from just what I've heard in the discussions over the years and in WSSC's program. That's the reason they do this disparity study periodically, to see have they made progress, and if have they made enough progress that they don't need the program anymore. But so far they have never made enough progress to do that. So but what we're doing here is we're taking all of that out of the bill and waiting for the court to make a final decision and continue the program as it has been working. It has made some progress. It hasn't made enough progress, in my opinion.
And Delegate Taylor, if I might, that was the big concern, that it needed to be something in a separate bill to deal with that, because the disparity study already, they did a disparity study to see where they were. And obviously they're not making progress, because that's what the disparity study says. And to remove the race-based program when they're not meeting it, and then to want to take out the targets, it was just very concerning. And just, you know, the whole thing, the main impetus of this bill was to extend the MBE program, to extend the sunset. And so really that's what we were just doing. We were extending the sunset so that we, you know, they can have the opportunity to try and get it right.
Do you think this bill accomplishes that?
This bill allows the program to continue. And that's all really that the bill does. I mean, I know I said a lot in it, but there was a lot in the bill. So we took a lot out of the bill so that really all we're doing is extending the sunset and keeping in the target of minority participation in Prince George's County and Montgomery County at 40%.
So race neutral is new language though, right?
It is, and well, it's new to me. And I didn't understand what race neutral meant either. And basically, in the side conversations that we had, their counsel was saying that it really just deals with, as Delegate Healy said, pretty much the size of the company and their assets and income. And the council said, well, that usually means that it's the minorities, and so they tend to be smaller, and so it just, in my opinion, I thought it needed to be a separate bill with separate discussion.
I agree.
And what we needed to do really was to extend the sunset.
Is it too late to do that?
Is it too late to do what?
To make it a separate bill. To target.
Yes.
Yeah.
This for this session it is. Unless Delegate Healy will allow something out of rules.
So is it too late to just strike the word race neutral?
We did. That's
what we did in our committee.
Yeah, that's the new language. That's what we're talking about. We struck all of that.
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Are there any further questions? Or I'm looking for hands. I don't see any.
What's the number of that bill again? I'm sorry, Madam Chair. What's the number of the bill again?
101.
101. Okay, thank you.
MCPG 101.
101. Okay. Thank you.
Seeing no other questions. I'm sorry. Yes, so we need to vote, Shane, on that amendment.
Move favorable on the amendment.
Second. A voice vote on that. All those in favor of any opposed? Hearing none, we'll move the bill as amended. Is there a motion on the bill as amended?
Move favorable.
Second.
Roll call, Shane or Latasha? I apologize.
No worries.
Am I on? Okay. Delegate Austin.
Aye.
Delegate Ben Barnes.
Yes.
Delegate Darrell Barnes. Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Delegate Harris.
Yes.
Delegate Harrison.
Yes.
Delegate Healy.
Aye.
Delegate Holmes.
Aye.
Delegate Ivy.
Yes.
Delegate Lehman.
Aye.
Delegate Lewis.
Aye.
Delegate Long. Delegate Pena Melnick.
Yes.
Delegate.
And just, if I may, just, I know that the bill comes to the Health and Government Operations Committee, the Government Operations Subcommittee. So we'll continue to work on the work that the committee did. So thank you both to the chair and the vice chair.
Delegate Taylor.
I vote aye.
Delegate Tavares.
Aye. And I'm trying to get in through my regular computer. If you could let me in, I'd appreciate that. That way I could leave out for this computer.
Delegate Toles.
Yes.
Delegate Turner.
Yes.
Delegate Valderrama.
Aye.
Delegate Williams.
Aye.
Delegate Woods.
Aye.
Delegate Long.
Aye.
Delegate Ben Barnes. Delegate Charles.
Aye.
Latasha, I voted on this bill.
So, sorry.
Thank you, Latasha. That bill has passed. Our last bill on the docket for Bi-County is MCPG 105, which is also House Bill 778. It's the Montgomery County Bi-County Agencies Commissioner Discipline Disclosures. This came over from Montgomery County Favorable as amended. And basically, as the bill came over as amended, it would authorize a commissioner or a commissioner applicant of Bi-County Commission from Montgomery County to submit an already required financial disclosure statement electronically. Since it came over favorable and the subcommittee of Bi-County had no issues with it, we voted it out unanimously as favorable. Are there any questions or discussion?
I'd like to move the bill.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
I move favorable on the bill, and I think
there was a second. Thank you very much. I'd like to move the bill and roll call. Latasha.
Delegate Austin.
Aye.
Delegate Ben Barnes.
Yes.
Delegate Fennell.
Yes.
Delegate Harris.
Yes.
Delegate Harrison.
yes.
Delegate Healy.
Yes.
Delegate Holmes.
Aye.
Delegate Ivy.
Yes.
Delegate Lehman.
Yes.
Delegate Lewis.
Aye.
Delegate Long.
Aye.
Delegate Pena Melnick.
Yes.
Delegate Taylor.
Aye.
Delegate Tavares.
Aye.
Delegate Toles.
I vote aye.
Delegate Turner.
Aye.
Delegate Valderrama.
Aye.
Delegate Williams.
Aye.
Delegate Woods.
Aye.
Thank you, Latasha. That bill passes. Members and Chairman Charles, that concludes the docket for Bi-County for today. We have about 4 more bills that we need to take up for next week's meeting. To the public, we plan to meet Thursday morning, 9 a.m. on Zoom, and please check the website for any changes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Delegate Valderrama. And Latasha, for the record, I just want to make sure you capture my vote for the last bill.
Yes.
All right.
Apologies.
So now we're going to move on to the Education Committee. Just a quick update from Delegate Tolles because it's almost 10 o'clock and I want to give us some time to get ready to head over to the floor for our newly minted delegate that's coming into Prince George's County's House delegation. So Delegate Tolles, give us a quick update on the two bills, the discussions that you had, and then let folks know about the meeting that's coming up next week.
Yes, sir. Sorry, is that at 10:30? I missed that this morning when you said that. Is that 10:30 for the swearing in?
10:30.
10:30. Okay, great. I'm just pulling up something. Okay. So we had a discussion. I think like Ms. Coleman is going to email me something we were waiting for one from the attorneys, but pretty much we had I think a great robust discussion on House Bill. Let's start with House Bill 50323. And that is the I'm still using PG number. We do have a House Bill, but what I have in front of me right now is a PG number, and it's the CEO of the Public School Search Committee. And so we had a discussion about, and I'm going to actually turn to my vice chair because I want to say we didn't have any recommendations on this. There was discussion about the word CEO versus superintendent, and how we want to mention that. But I'm going to turn to my vice chair for assistance on that. If you can remember if we had any changes or had any discussion. I know that was something that you talked about.
Sorry, is this on the search committee piece?
This is yes, Mr. Whip.
Yeah. So on that bill, the main change we were talking about was the fact that as currently introduced, it takes out the governor and the state superintendent from the search committee for our new county superintendent, and says that the county executive can find 3 people. From the public hearing that we heard, it seemed like we had a lot of community feedback on wanting more voices at the table. So the proposed change was to add 2 representatives from the school board onto the search committee. So it'd still be 5. The majority would still be chosen by our county executive, but 2 members of the school board will be part of the search committee, which I think just makes sense since they're the body that will be ultimately holding whoever is selected accountable. There was that change. There's like a technical thing that we were talking about because in that statute, it still referred to the school CEO as opposed to the county superintendent. So we were looking for some clarification on. We have a separate bill, as the chair stated, that's changing the head of the school system from a school CEO to a superintendent. Since this was a separate bill, we're just wondering, did we need to update that language there to be consistent? That is all.
Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate it. Lean on you, I couldn't quite find my notes for that one. But I want to back up and say that we are hoping to get this voted out. What I'm actually waiting on is from Kyra, a side-by-side comparison of what some of the things that we discussed and possible amendments so that we can see them, side by side to see what direction that we want to go in. And so are there any questions in terms of the PG 503-23 bill with any members? Okay, great. And then again, Mr. Vice Chair, if it's something I missed, please chime in. But it's pretty much on the House Bill 1079. The changes, many of the changes you all heard during the discussion on the public hearing. So we're taking some of those into consideration. We've gotten I've received separate information that I want to discuss on the leadership call on Monday, Mr. Chair, from other outside sources to see how we want to move in that direction. Because I don't think it's helpful to get like, you know, every union emailing you and every person. So we need to kind of combine that to see what is the best approach and then bring it to the committee. But what I'll do is, in the essence of time, because it's just a bunch of changes that we discussed, I'll wait for Kyra to send me the side-by-side, go over it with leadership, and send it to you all by Tuesday so that you can look at it and we can have a discussion with the committee. Does that work for everyone? Yes. Okay. Mr. Vice Chair, would you like to add anything? Thank you, Mr. Chair. Does that work? Vice Chair Whip? Okay, thank you.
All good.
All right, perfect, thank you. So just, I guess, committee members, just be ready to kind of move this in the direction. I think we would had about 3 meetings on this, and we have to take a position. We know it's a lot, and we know we're making robust changes, but we got to get it going. And the next meeting is Wednesday at 9 a.m. on Zoom. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you so much, Delegate Toles. All right, so you guys heard all of the updates, all of the votes we've taken, and some of the things we'll be focusing in on next week. It's now 10:04. The swearing in starts at 10:30. So I'm going to call for an adjournment of the meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Been motioned and properly second. We adjourn the meeting. Meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Chairman
See
Charles.
you on the floor.
Chairman Charles.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Before you hang up, I was kicked out during the vote, the last vote on the alcohol. So I did want to